Wie gestaltet sich das Leben eines 10-jährigen Jungen, wenn er 1000 Meter entfernt von der Frontlinie eines militärischen Dauerkonflikts lebt? Ich glaube, unter den vielen Hunderten, vielleicht sogar sind es sogar Tausenden von Orten auf dieser Welt, wo diese Situation Lebensrealität ist, porträtiert die Dokumentation The Distant Barking of Dogs den Ukraine-Konflikt auf Kinderaugenhöhe.
Война к нам пришла прошлым летом. Мы оказались между двух огней.
Костян. Ты же стреляешь? Да. Это чуть погромче.
Мы слышим взрывы и свист снарядов, которые пролетают прямо у нас над головой.
The Distant Barking of Dogs braucht keine dramatisierenden Elemente. Keine Musik, keinen Off-Text, keine Schnittbilder. Und das ist bei einem so hochpolitischen Thema eine angenehme Abwechslung. Kommen sonst doch nur Nachrichtenbilder aus dieser Region der Welt. Und 90 Minuten sieht man, wie der kleine Oleg und seine Oma direkt an der Front leben. Und je länger man ihnen zuschaut, desto näher kommt man ihnen. Und bekommt zwangsläufig einen ganz neuen Blick auf das Thema Krieg. Wer also wirklich wissen will, wie sich das Alltagsleben am Rande eines militärischen Konflikts anfühlt, der sollte sich The Distant Barking of Dogs unbedingt anschauen. Authentischer wird es nicht.
Your movie is astonishingly non-political. You know, from a Western perspective, in the media, we only get the conflict through the eyes of the political crisis, like Russia against the West and all these, you know, like back and forths. And but your film totally isn't. Why did you exclude this fact?
There's several reasons for that. First of all, I don't pretend to be very politically wise. And what interests me mostly is the human story, the universal story of what it means to be human, or at least trying to answer some parts of that. But also I quickly learned that when you go to these parts, you know, where you must remember they don't really know at the front line, they don't know which side they are going to belong to tomorrow necessarily. And I quickly realized that the minute I start talking politics in these areas, that's where the door slams shut. So
by the people who live there?
Yes, they are not interested in talking politics at all.
Because they are under this constant threat and they don't care, or why?
No, it's probably that. I think a lot of them is just tired of having, you know, bombs being shot over their heads all the time. But also you have to remember that, for example, Oleg and Alexandra, the protagonists of the film, they don't know if they're going to be Ukrainian or pro-Russian or separatist tomorrow. Yeah. So if you speak out and you're known for something, some political opinion, then you might be in trouble. I never asked Alexandra which side she wants to belong to. Yeah. Never ever.
So let's focus on the protagonists. Quite literally, this transition was so good. Because I wanted to talk about the aesthetics of your film. Your movie is quite cineastic. So there are a lot of close-ups on the faces of the children in very intimate and very emotional moments. And what's surprising to me is they don't fake it at all. They act so authentically, like the camera isn't even there, although it's like so close to their faces. How is that possible? How did you build your relationship with these children?
Well, most of all, like on a very practical level, I just spend a lot of time hanging out with them and doing the same stuff that they do. Actually, you know, when they shoot bottles with the slingshot, I do. You know, I try to be one of the guys.
Did you hit anything?
Yeah. And I jump into the river also, and I do the same things that they do. And then at some point, I would say, you know, for the next hour, I'm not here. And in the beginning, you know, they would try to provoke me by looking into the camera and you know, teasing me in that way. But I found out that if I just, you know, ignored their you know, teasing, I quickly become the boring adult, and they do and then they, you know, go about their own business and what they want to do, and I can just tag along because they know me. Yeah. So, and that's usually where the magic actually happens, because it's their own thing, and that's, I think, what children are so nice at filming, is that if you get to that point where you know, okay, this is their own will, this is what they want to do, they quickly forget about a camera, and you can be very close to them actually, without them really noticing if they know you.
Did you? I mean, I mentioned the production of the movie has ended quite a long time ago, but the conflicts have obviously continued on. Do you know about the situation of your protagonists?
Yes.
How are they?
And the situation is relatively calm. It's been so for quite some time now. It's not to say that nothing happens there. It's still, from time to time, there is still shells being shot. But at the moment, it's relatively calm along the front line. Yeah.
And they still live in this village in the exact same house?
Yes.
All right. And have no intentions of moving?
No.
All right. Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. At this point, we could really much be done with the interview, but I had like one more psychological question for you. We talked about this prior to the interview. There was one scene where that really resonated with me, because when I was about that age, like 10-ish, I used to play war with my friends. You know, we used to fight. We used to like pretend we have pistols, shoot each other. My brother at that age pretty much admired soldiers, and I realized that the children in the film are doing the exact same thing. They also play war. They have a fascination for weapons, which is so bizarre to me, because in Germany we are far away from conflict. There's no war, but in their world, actual real bullets are shot like 100 yards away, and actual real people are getting killed, and this is so close, and they're terrified, and they're aware of the fact, and they still do it though. And this pretty much blow my mind, and I wonder whether you got any thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that no matter how close you go and get to the war, I think that conflict is a part of the human nature, and I think we all have some kind of fascination with power. Even as small children, I think we also have some kind of unconscious idea of this is a powerful object. You know, this can be used for something powerful. Yeah. And I think it's that attraction, at least in these kids. And the link that this is killing people, I think it's a very abstract one, at least for the 10 years old. Okay. I think a kid like Kostya, he would probably be very aware of it. Yeah. But for Oleg, I think they're still young enough that they might understand it on a logical level, but on a more emotional, philosophical level, I think it's still too abstract for them. So like the shelling in the night, but the gun in my hand, two different things. Two different things. Two different things, yeah. One is almost like a force of nature, like a storm coming and going. The other one, this is something I can wield. This is something I have the power over, you know? Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the interview. Enjoy Osnabrück. Thank you very much. For as long as you're here. Thank you. Thank you.